Other ways to express condition. Part 1. In a previous lesson, you learned how to make conditional statements that are true in the present and future. You also learned that most of these conditional sentences will contain if. However, there are many other terms we can use to express condition in English, including only if not, if so, unless, provided, and as long as. In we will focus on how to use only if so, and if not. Good morning.
Good morning.
Another day at work.
Yep.
I will only make it through this day if I have some coffee.
That sounds perfect. Let's go.
We use only if to emphasize a condition. You heard, I will only be able to make it through this day if I have some coffee. Notice that only is in the main clause and if, of course, is in the dependent clause. However, it's possible to say this in another way. I will be able to make it through this day only if I have some coffee. Now, only and if appear together in the dependent clause. Using only if is stronger than using if alone in a sentence. That's some good coffee.
Can I have a sip? Mine is all gone.
Only if you write this report for me, can you have a sip?
No way. I don't want it that bad.
Suit yourself. Let's talk about what you heard. You heard, only if you write this report for me, can you have a sip? Now, this may sound a little funny to you. That's because when we begin a sentence with only if, we invert the auxiliary and the subject. Ordinarily, we say, you can have a sip. But in this case, we say, only if you write this report for me, can you have a sip? This is true for other auxiliary verbs as well. Let's take a look at another example. You know, I ride my bike to work nearly every day. Very rarely do I take the bus. I don't really like riding the bus. But there is one condition under which I will take the bus instead of my bike. Only if it rains do I take the bus. Notice here, because only if is at the beginning of the sentence, we need to invert the auxiliary and the subject. This is not auxiliary and the subject. This is not true when only if is in the middle of the sentence. If you're wondering why we included the auxiliary verb do, it's because the subject is I and the tense is the simple present. Okay, let's look at another clip.
So, I see that the energy from your coffee has finally worn off. Can't talk? Oh, are you too tired? If so, nod your head. Well, you have to get up. You have to get motivated. If not, you will be here all day.
If so. We use if so to shorten an if clause. And if the condition is obvious or has already been stated in some way. You heard, "Are you tired?" If so, nod your head. If so is replacing if you are tired. There's no need to repeat if you are tired because it was just asked. If not is used in the exact same way, only with negative sentences. You heard, "You have to get up. You have to get motivated. If not, you will be here all day." What do you think if not is replacing? That's right. If you don't get up and get motivated, you will be here all day. Again, it's not necessary to repeat this idea because it's just been said. So we can simply say if not. That concludes part 1 of this lesson. You learned how to use only if so, and if not to express condition. See you for part 2 soon. Goodbye. Other ways to express condition, part 2. As you know, if is not the only way to express condition in English. In part 1 of this lesson, you learned how to use only if not, and if so. In part 2 of this lesson, you'll learn how to use provided as long as, and unless. Several months ago, Emily applied to clown school. She's always loved to be silly, and she thought it would be a good part-time job. Let's watch as she finds out whether she has been accepted or not.
It's here! It's here.
What is it? What is it?
Okay, well, I didn't tell anybody, but I applied to clown school a couple months ago.
Why?
Finally did it. And this letter should tell me if I'm rejected or accepted.
Well, open it.
I can't do it.
Open
I can't do it. Please just open it for me.
All right,
Read it
all right. Here it goes. Dear Miss Ellis, it is with great pleasure that we write this letter. The clown school would like to invite you to enroll for our spring semester. You will be accepted provided that you complete the task outlined below.
What's the task? What's the task?
You must cut your hair, perm it, and dye it purple. Provided that you complete these tasks, you'll be admitted to our program.
Provided has pretty much the same meaning as only if, and is rather formal. You heard, provided that you complete these tasks, you will be admitted to our program. This means you will be admitted only if you complete these tasks. It is also possible to hear provided without that, provided you complete these tasks. You could also hear providing or providing that. All of these mean the same thing.
Em?
Hey, Judy.
I thought I saw your feet.
Yeah, I can't come out.
Why not? Oh, that's right. You have just went to the hair salon. Come on, let me see. I'm sure you look great.
No, I'm embarrassed. Okay. I'll come out as long as you promise not to laugh.
Of course I promise not to laugh. Unless it's funny, of course.
Hey!
I'm just kidding, Come on.
Okay, but I won't come out unless you close your eyes right now.
Oh, of course. My eyes are totally closed.
Okay, you promise?
Totally closed.
Okay, open them. Ta-da!
As long as. Like provided, as long as means only if. However, it is less formal and more common than provided. You heard, I will come out as long as you promise not to laugh. This is the same as saying, I will come out only if you promise not to laugh. Using unless can mean, I will come out only if you promise not to laugh. Using unless can seem a little tricky. but you're going to learn that it's really not that hard. Unless can mean if not or except if. You heard, I promise not to laugh unless it's funny. This is the same as saying, I promise not to laugh except if I think it's funny. Or, the only way I'll laugh is if it's funny. Here's another example you heard. I won't come out unless you close your eyes. In this case, unless is like if not. So this is the same as saying, I won't come out if you don't close your eyes. Or, the only way I will come out is if you close your eyes. You could think of unless and only if as opposites. Let's take a look at an example. Spencer is terrified of clowns. He has never liked them. If there is a clown at the party, Spencer will not come. That's the same as saying, Spencer will come to the party unless there is a clown. Will not come. That's the same as saying, Spencer will come to the party unless there is a clown. On the other hand, Judy loves clowns. In fact, she thinks there should be a clown at every party. And she will go to the party only if there is a clown there. Be a clown at every party. And she will go to the party only if there is a clown there. Let's compare these two sentences. Spencer will go to the party unless there is a clown, because Spencer hates clowns. On the other hand, Judy will go to the party only if there's a clown there. She loves clowns. She thinks a clown should be at every good party. Can you see how unless and only if are kind of like opposites? Okay, that concludes part 2 of this lesson. In this lesson, you learned how to use provided, as long as, and unless in conditional statements. I hope you learned a lot. See you soon. Clauses that follow wish. In English, we have a saying, the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. This comes from the idea that your neighbor's grass always seems to look greener and better than your own. In reality, however, it may not be any better than yours. This saying in English has come to show that humans tend to idealize that which they don't have. It seems like we're never satisfied. We often wish for reality to be different. I wish I had a faster car, more money, a better brain. In English, we use the verb wish to express that we want something different from reality. We can make wishes about the future, wishes about the present, or even wishes about the past. Let's start with wishes about the future. In reality, I am not going to the beach tomorrow. I wish that I were going to the beach tomorrow. Sadly, I am going to work tomorrow. I wish that I were not going to work tomorrow. Let's take a closer look at how using the verb wish in the main clause affects the verb tense of the dependent clause. You can see that the part of the sentence that follows wish is a noun clause. A verb that appears in a noun clause following wish will follow a certain pattern. As you can see here, am not going and am going become were going and were not going in the noun clauses that come after the main verb wish. I know it sounds funny, but this is the proper way to form these sentences. It is wrong to use a present tense verb form in a noun clause that follows wish. And I should also mention that it is possible to remove that from these sentences. Let's look at another example. Tomorrow is Monday, which is why I have to go to work instead of the beach. Notice the verb form that appears in the noun clause after wish. It's were. When making wishes about the future or present, a be verb that appears in the noun clause will always be were, no matter the subject. Let's look at one more example about the future. Okay, so clearly my boss will not cancel work tomorrow. I wish that he would cancel work tomorrow. Notice that will has become would. It is wrong to use will in a noun clause after wish. Let's move on to wishes about the present. If you know me, you know that I am short. In fact, I'm not tall at all. Usually, I like being short, but sometimes it is so frustrating. Sometimes I just wish that I were a little taller. It would be much easier to reach things. Notice that the verb we need is the be verb. And again, in the noun clause after wish, we've used the verb were, just as we did when we made wishes about the future. This is also the verb that we'll use with other subjects when the main verb in the noun clause is be. So for example, my friend Jake also wishes that she were taller. I guess we'll just have to stick with being short. Okay, here's another example. Ricky is really busy, and he has very little free time. He wishes that he had more free time. When making wishes about the present, the verb form in the noun clause that follows wish will always appear in the past tense, even though we're talking about the present. I know it sounds strange, but it communicates that the wish is impossible and that it's not reality. If we use the simple present tense, it sounds like it's reality. Remember, it's wrong to use the present tense in the dependent clause. But you already knew that. Last but not least, let's take a look at an example of how to express wishes about the past. I love to cook, but sometimes I forget to wear an apron. Last night, I didn't wear an apron while cooking. I wish that I had worn an apron while cooking because I stained my shirt. I really liked that shirt. I wish I had not stained my shirt. Okay, look at the verb forms in the noun clauses that follow wish. Had worn, had not stained. What tense is this? If you said the past perfect, you are correct. We use the past perfect in the noun clause after wish when we're expressing wishes about the past. Okay, here's a very quick summary of the most important rules. When noun clauses follow the verb wish, they must follow certain rules in terms of verb tense. Will becomes would when making wishes about the future. When noun clauses follow the verb wish, they must follow certain rules in terms of verb tense. Will becomes would when making wishes about the future, and be becomes were, while can becomes could. When making wishes about the present, we'll use were and all other verbs will become simple past tense verbs. Finally, to make wishes about the past. Could will become could have with the past participle, and all other verbs will become past perfect. I hope you learned a could. Other verbs will become simple past tense verbs. Finally, to make wishes about the past, could will become could have with the past participle, and all other verbs will become past perfect. I hope you learned a lot. I wish you were right here with me so we could learn together. See you soon.